recording this session. The first thing is, you know already FI system. So FI or CO, whatever it may be, that is in standardized system. That means in ECC6 and EHP versions, you can say anything, whatever it may be. That is a standardized versions. That means we have a standard module such as sales and distribution, production planning, so FICO. These are all standard modules. And these standard modules are implemented in the standard system. So if you come to fscm or GTS, Global Trade Services, or if you say student life cycle management, so that these are all new functionalities. And these functionalities are upgraded with enhancements. That is the reason after ECC, EHP1, EHP2, so like this, they had introduced into the market. So these enhancements you can customize as per the organizational requirement. So say for example, every organization is not implementing this FSCM. Based on their requirements, they are going to implement this FSCM functionalities. Say some people they are using treasury and risk management, some people they are using IHC, and some people they are using collections, and they don't require credit and dispute. So like that, whatever the things they want to implement, that only will be implemented in enhancements.
Means in FSCM also we can choose the functionality depending upon the requirement of our business.
Yes. But here the point is there is some business scenarios are there. If you see the business scenario, you can understand all the concepts.
Yes.
Okay. How the data is flowing from FI and how it is updated in FSCM. So once if we discuss about business scenario, we can understand easily. And this is the first point. That means there is a lot of difference between standardized system and enhancement system. And FSCM is completely related to enhancement system. So for this, what we need to do? We need to understand what is body application, because the bodies are introduced from EHP6, but it is updated from EHP1 onwards. It is introduced in ECC6 up to EHP7. Currently, in the market, EHP7 is running. So up to this point, each and every accept for enhancements, there is some body applications are there. These are very important functionalities which we need to learn how to activate it, and which body application we need to activate for the particular functionality. So that I am going to explain one by one. And the second point is, SAP has taken a decision to implement simple finance. So then what is simple finance? So normally till now we are working with Oracle database, but SAP has changed that. They are going to upgrade with SAP HANA database instead of Oracle database for generating the reports. For this, they had updated the tool called this, SAP Pharaoh, and this is completely a new environment. It looked like SAP ECC6 and EHP versions. That means the environment looked like same, but at the time of reporting, so it is very easy to understand, compare with ECC6, which is working in Oracle, so to enhance to this SAP HANA database. There is a lot of differences there in reporting part. But in configuration, business scenario, end user part, everything is same. There is no change at all. So now let us come to the point. So here, what things I am going to explain in FSCM functionalities and how I am explaining. So what are the technicals which we need to update from our end to understand the FSCM functionalities and how the business process takes place. These are all the things which we are going to discuss in this demo session.
Okay.
So as I already told you, the first thing is, this is completely an enhancement system. So once if you log in into the system, we need to update ourselves. So what functions we require. So this is also known as, you can see in my screen. So in configuration, so this is found in only latest version, activate business functions.
Yes.
So here, first of all, we need to activate what functions we require as per our business requirement. You can easily find out what functions we require for FSCM, because it is notified as FSCM, so that we can easily identify and we can activate it. Otherwise, we need to contact our technical team if there any security reasons is restricted. So they are the responsible persons to activate this, but we need to explain to them. Okay. Continue. See, here you can see some extensions, business extensions. So here you can see FSCM functionalities, whatever it is there. So these functions need to activate even if you are using your personal system also. This is the first step which we need to take into decision. So when we are implementing SAP FSCM system. So these are default for FI and CO. But in FSCM for especially enhancement system, these are mandatory. You can see TRM functionalities. So we need to activate these functionalities. Otherwise you cannot work with that functionalities. So like that, here you can see bank communication management. So
Yeah, this is this bank communication FSCM function
yes,
2,
all
3.
these functionalities we can easily identify. Okay.
Yes.
And we need to activate it. This is the first function which we need to concentrate. So
Okay.
then the second thing is, first of all, I am going to explain how I am going to teach in my system. So here in my training, I had divided these concepts, FSCM concepts, into two scenarios. Total there are 9 submodules are there. So these 9 submodules are divided into 2 categories based on their business requirement. So here, the first part 1, consists of credit management,
Yes.
then collections management, then dispute management, then debt recovery management, and finally bill or direct. So these are the first scenario which I am going to cover. And in part 2, I am going to discuss about treasury and risk management. There are 2 parts are there, treasury and risk management. And then I am going to discuss about in-house cash application, IHC, bank communication management, then finally we are going to discuss about cash and liquidity. So these are the things that what we are going to cover in FSCM syllabus structure. That means total there are 9 submodules. For more clarification, if you go to, you can take any system, that's not a problem. Directly go to, even in ECC 6 also it will display. Use the transaction code called FSCM. So you can find all the submodules which is the part of FSCM functionalities. Because
this FSCM transaction, can we run it in any of EHP 1, 2 or 3?
You can run at any point, in any versions. But there is a lot of difference is there. I will tell you what is the difference. So even in ECC 6 also FSCM is there. So here you can see credit management, bill or direct, cash and liquidity, bill consolidation, collections, disputes, in-house cash, bank communication, treasury, debt recovery. So why I am saying is, most of the people what they are doing is they are dividing these concepts. They are saying that this is not the part of FSCM. Treasury and risk management is a new submodule. But it is not the new submodule, it's a part of FSCM. Then let us come to the point. In business scenario, why I am covering credit first, then collections, then disputes, then debt recovery, then debt bill or direct. There is some reasoning processes. Just I will explain you the business scenario, then we will discuss. So here you can see in my screen, if you take any organization, so there are 2 types of business partners are there. You can say customers. So existing customers is there, new customers is there. For existing customers, what is the business process? And for new customer, what is the business process? And what is the role of FI in FSCM? So this is the concept which we are going to discuss right now. So here, if we take a new customer, so if a customer approach to our organization, our sales and distribution people is the responsible person to create this customer ID. Based on this customer ID, they are going to generate inquiry and quotation. Later on sales,
Yes.
later on the remaining things they are looked after by salespeople. This is the basic. Then these customer data is forward to the external rating agency. Why they are sending that data? What is the reason behind this? Because we don't know what is the position of the customer, whether he is a reputed customer or whether if he has any disputes or whether he has any other dunning or any other bad debts are there. We don't know nothing we don't know about the customer. So that is the reason these people what they are going to do is they are going to send this customer data to external rating agencies such as Cybel.
Yes.
You better to take in Indian standard. So like that for
Yes.
every organization there are different credit rating agencies they are going to approach. So these external rating agencies they are going to analyze this customer and they are giving rating and ranking. Okay. And if you take existing customer, these external rating and ranking is not required because we know the customer details. Already he is an existing customer. We know the position of the customer. Directly we are updating. Okay. And this data which is taken from external rating agency along with the customer identification number is updated to FSCM with the help of XI interface, extended interface. Why they are using XI interface? Because this external rating agency is using a different system and we are using SAP system. So it needs to convert the data from along with the customer ID and also the rating and ranking. So that is the reason the XI people is the responsible person to transfer this data to SAP system.
SAP system. Okay.
Once it is converted, that is only a customer ID. But we cannot do anything with the customer ID because as I already told you, these are all enhancements modules. So the primary responsibility of credit management or credit specialist is they need to convert these customers into business partners of credit management to add some new features to add some new features to the customer. So then it is called business partners of credit management. Based on the master data synchronization, we are going to discuss how to convert these customers into business partners. So the concept is known as master data synchronization, and this concept is the basic concept and it's also very important concept throughout FSCM functionalities. Why? Because even in collections management also the same concept will repeat. Even in
because customer ID is the same, na?
Yeah, customer ID is always same. There is no change at all, but the business partner roles will change. Okay. And if you come to treasury and risk management, there also the same business process will be continued. So because there also we are converting the customers into business partners in some cases. So this business partner master data synchronization is the basic concept and it is also very important concept in FSCM. Once the business partner is converted into credit management, we are going to add some new features such as credit limit request. First, we are going to design the credit segment because the credit segment is the highest hierarchy node. Then we are going to add some additional features to this credit management business partner to calculate the credit limit which is given to the customer. So here, number one, credit limit requested by the customer. How much credit limit he is requesting? So this to be taken into consideration. Then, what type of rating and ranking we are following? If you are importing the rating and ranking, which body application we need to activate and how it is being get activated into the business partner master data. So, from the new customers. For the existing customers, we need to design the rating and ranking and we need to update it. Then, customer credit group. So that means based on the customer buying potentiality, so the customers are divided into high, medium, low. So like this, we are going to divide. So based on that, we are going to maintain some limits which is given by the organization. Okay. So then we are going to update the scoring and formula structure. So these are all the part of credit risk analyzer. That means here you can see in my system in SAP screen you can see. Say for example, if you go to credit management, I had already converted the business partner, the existing business partner I am showing. Once the customer is converted into the business partner, we need to add some new features. Customer ID and business partner ID both are same. So here what we need to do is, first we need to add some limit. So first we need to add some credit segment. Based on the credit segment, we need to assign how much limit he is requesting. Based on that, we need to update the rating and ranking. If it is taking from an external rating agency, we need to input it. And then we need to add all these master data. That means customer credit group, then risk class, so rules and limits and scoring which is defined by the organization. We need to add all these features, additional features. So all these features is the part of credit management master data. You can see here. So in master data, we are going to discuss all these things. By integrating all these things, we can structurize the business partner for credit management. Then the next step is we need to add some integrations. That means why we are using the integration partner. Say for example, if we take a new customer, the sales document is required. That means how much value of the good he is purchasing. That is also most important. To integrate this, we need to understand what is check rule and also the integration of sales and distribution. Like that, if you take a existing customer, so invoice is there, the existing invoice that we need to add into the credit management to check the credit limit. So, and also we need to update all these elements to automatic credit control. So here.
And what about the new customers?
New customers, we are going to use sales and distribution integration. Because we have a order value or a billing value, so these things are taken into consideration. So that is the reason here we have two types of implementations. One is integration with accounts receivables and integration with sales and in both the cases we need to understand for an existing customer, for a new customer.
Yes.
So then along with this, we have some enhancements is also there. Why we are using this body application? Which situation we need to use which body application? Say for example, so as a credit manager, I ask you to calculate the credit limit for a business partner. Immediately you need to understand that which body application we need to activate. Okay. And also I ask you to calculate the credit limit based on the document value which is taken from the sales and distribution. You need to understand which body application we need to activate. So these bodies are most important along with this business process. Then every transaction, whenever you get updated all these transactions.
Basically, body is the part of ABAP peoples. Na? ABAP peoples will do the work in BAPI and body.
Exactly. But the thing is, we need to understand which enhancement spot need to activate. Say for example, if you take here, if you are importing external rating data, okay. So you are the responsible person to intimate to them. So this is the enhancement spot you need to activate. They are the responsible person to activate this enhancement spot. If you don't know what enhancement we need to activate, even the above people, they don't know. As a functional consultant, we need to explain. They simply go to the SC19 and they will activate the functionality. That's all. But the logic we need to explain to them. Okay. So then after implementing all these things, what is the result we are getting? Finally, once if you integrate all these things, you can see under credit segment, the credit exposure. That means how much credit limit we can give to the customer and how much he utilized. So these two things will be calculated automatically. So here again come to the business scenario. Finally, what we are doing is we are giving some credit limit to the customer. Again, in a figures I will explain to you. So here one business partner is converted and this business partner is requesting 15 lakhs credit limit from our organization and his ranking and his rating and ranking is A and he related to customer group called high profile. And as per our organization policy, we had maintained 20 lakhs credit limit for high profile customers. and the scoring points is 20. So, and also
This
in
customer,
document,
and who will create this customer credit group, whether it was a high profile or medium profile or small profile?
even we need to create it.
From where we got this HMS? We
No,
have
no,
to
no.
create it, na?
Yeah, yeah. So this we can create it, but only the thing is this external rating proceed based on the rating only. Everything is dependent.
Okay, these are the rating comes from the first level,
Yes, yes. That is the primary level.
primary levels. Yes, yes, yes. Got
And
it.
here you can say 15 lakhs is the document value. Say for example is billing document value. Finally, what the
Yes.
system will do is by taking all these things into consideration, and it will
Hmm.
expose how much credit limit we can give to the customer.
Hmm.
Okay. So let us say the customer requested 15 lakhs, which is also treated as invoice cost. So
Hmm.
now our credit management people, they had calculated the credit exposure and they had calculated as 85%. That means 15 lakhs of 85%. That is 12
Hmm.
lakh 75,000 in my example. So
Hmm.
the difference between the invoice value, that means which is requested by the customer, and also the
Hmm.
credit which is given by the organization is treated as down payment. And these
Hmm.
data, that means after credit exposure, then FI people came into existence and they are going to create the invoice, down payment, and
Hmm.
the open items. That means the credit which is given to the customer.
Hmm.
So this is the interlink finally to update in FI. Then collection people come into existence. What they are doing? Say for example, we are the collection people. So here, as a collection specialist, you are the responsible person to convert the the same business partner. There is no change in the business customer ID. The same business partner is converted into collections management business partner by using master data synchronization. Again, as per our organization policy, we are maintaining some strategies. That means set of rules and conditions to the collection specialist. Then profiles, segments, groups. So all these things is the part of master data of business partner in collections management. Then the second responsibility is you need to import the data which is updated by FI people to collections management work list. You can see in my system. See, I had imported some of the data from FI system. So finally, you need to generate the work list. Once if you generate the work list, so here you can see the invoice data. So once it is generated, you are the responsible person to create promise to pay. So here you can see promise to pay, which I created. Promise to pay and also installment plans, and we need to post the transaction to see how it will be get reflected. So then what is the resultant of customer contacts and resubmissions. So along with this, we need to work with a lot of things here. So what is history? So how to display the output billing again? How to create a dunning notice directly from work list? What is the request of correspondence? All these things we need to discuss one by one.
Hmm.
So that means simply say that the data which is taken from FI for the credit which is issued is converted into the work list. Once it is converted into the work list, we are creating promise to pay. Based on the promise to pay, the customer has a installment plans. So he is going to clear the installment plans. So then if there any due is there, what is the resultant of the customer contact? And also if the customer is not in position to respond to our call, we are going to resubmit the data. So this is the concept which we are going to discuss in collections management. For this, lot of implementations we need to discuss, such as how to design the work list, how to work with the work list for promise to pay, installment plans. Again, in installment plans, there are different types of installment plans are there that we need to understand. What is the resultant of the customer? What is the resubmission? What is the reasons? So these are all the things for the part of collections management. By seeing the work list, we can easily understand, okay, this customer has a due on certain date as his promise, and we had already contacted, we are already submitted. You can analyze all the things. Then, if any due is there, say for example, in this work list item, the customer promised that he is going to make the payment as per this plan, but he is due for this data. That means he is due for next installment.
Next month. Yes.
So what we are doing is we are sending this data to FI people. The FI people is the responsible person to generate dunning notice. Okay. You can directly display the dunning notice here itself.
Yes.
Even though
This will show the dunning history.
yes, yes. That means the dunning notice you can directly update from here itself. Or we can contact to the FI people, they are the responsible person to generate that. But
Yes.
here the point what I am saying is, after sending the dunning notice, final notice, you say legal notice, the customer is not respond to our calls. What we will do? This is the question mark. How to recover our payment?
Yes.
So here there is a concept called dispute management.
Yes.
So to understand this dispute management, what we need to understand? First of all, we need to understand the configuration part. What is RMS ID, record management system, where the case is going to save, what is attribute profile, function profile, status profile, text profile, how to integrate all these things into the case type. So, and then based on this case type, how to create a case ID based on invoice or open items or a work list item, whatever it may be, that is due for the due items. And once the invoice, that means the dispute case has been generated, so how we are going to clear the payment? Say for example, we had generated a dispute case for the customer. Immediately he will respond. In most of the cases, immediately he will respond. Why? Because otherwise his rating and ranking will be get down. So again he approaches with other organization. So the other organization is also verifying the external rating and ranking from external rating agency. There the customer is in down standards. So that is the reason the customer will respond in most of the cases after generating the dispute case. If he clear the payment, we need to generate that how he is clearing and how the payment will be closed. So these things we need to look after. That means there are three scenarios are there. The first scenario is if the customer makes the complete payment of disputed amount, how we need to process it and how we need to clear the payment. Then in the second case, if the customer is not in position to clear the complete payment of disputed amount, but he is ready to make the partial payment of disputed amount, then how we need to process it. And in third case, if the customer respond even for the dispute case also, how we are going to send it for auto write-off, and again how it is being reflected in FI system as a bad debts. This we need to look after in auto write-off. Okay. And in some cases, especially in the public sector, so there is a concept called debt recovery management. That means after generating the bad debts also, we have a chance to recover the payment in some cases. This is the concept which deals with debt recovery management. So this is the process.
Same process like this debit recovery management is same like the credit card management system.
Yes, yes. So here we are generating the case again for the bad debts and we are going to send the notice. So in most of the cases, the customer will respond for this. So like this, from sales and distribution, we are going to start the business process and we are going to end up with debt recovery management.
Okay.
In each and every case, I am going to take the same customer only. Okay.
Yeah, of course, the customer is same, na.
Yes, yes, the customer which is created in FI system or VD01 or XD01, he is the same.
Yes.
Okay. So then there is one more concept is also called as bill or direct. The bill or direct is not the business process, but it is a tool to communicate between customer and vendor. So here what we are going to do is here there is two things are there. One is 70% of the work deals with technical people. What they are going to do is they are going to create some customer ID and also user ID, password and all other details. And they are going to integrate this bill or direct activity to SAP system. So whenever we are going to communicate with the customer, he can log in into his credentials and he can see in customer portal administration. That means he can view all the details in customer portal administration. just like an internet option. So just like what we are paying the bills in online. So he can view the invoice, he can view the outstanding amounts, he can view the dunning notices, he can view the dispute notices, all these things. So again, if we want to send anything, we are going to send in the form of notification. So he is receiving the notification and he is generating in his work list. Again, he is also communicating with us with the same thing. He is going to generate some notification. We are receiving that and we are generating the work list. So here, what is our role as a FSCM consultant? You are the responsible person to design the payment cards and also payment card system from sales and distribution. And we need to maintain some account determination from FI. And finally, we need to integrate this account determination to bill or direct activity in FSCM. That is our role. So here you can see so how the process integration will take place with releasing of credit card and also how the account determination takes place for credit card and how we are going to update with the user adjust and what body application we need to activate to run these functionalities. So all these are the part of bill or direct activity. Okay. So these are the 5 sub-modules. One is credit, collections, disputes, debt recovery and bill or direct activity. For all these modules, so every day after end of the session, I am going to forward the recording to your mail ID.
Okay.
So you can repeat the recording whenever you want or you can prepare the notes also. In my session, no need to write any notes. But you need to note down some critical points. That means very complicated points I will explain to you. So which body application we need to activate, what is the function. So like this I am going to explain in some cases that we need to note it down. And for all these concepts, I am going to forward you 3 types of material. One is config material, which we are going to discuss step by step with screenshots, and end user material. Along with this, SAP has delivered some sim files. I think you know about the simulation files. So
Simulated files, yes.
So what these simulation files will do is they will explain in a structural way. That means what the SAP has delivered. So to understand the subject in a perfect picture. Okay. So along with this, I am going to forward you some case studies because this is not like FI or a CO or SD. So this is completely depend on business scenarios. So we need to study the case studies in some cases, as well as we need to complete the business blueprint also. Okay. So these are the 5 documents which I am going to forward at the time of learning stage. That means, say for example, we are starting with credit. I am going to forward all these documents related to credit management. And again, if we are going to start with collections, I am going to forward all these details to collections also, like this. So this is the part which we are going to cover in FSCM for part 1. And it requires total 15 sessions to cover this part 1.
Okay. 15 session. How much time for each session?
Yes. Each session is for 1 hour and total Monday to Friday is our session and total 15 sessions.
So Monday to Friday at what time you can give us the...
Yeah, we will discuss that. Okay. And if you come to scenario 2, scenario 2 deals with treasury and risk management. This is very important module, as well as it is very complicated module and it is very difficult to understand. So to brush up the knowledge in financial instruments and also the financial terminology, so what I am going to do is I am going to I had purchased some documents related to financial markets and financial products. So these documents I am going to forward it to you to just brush up your knowledge in financial instrument. That is not related to SAP. So it is related to statistical finance and financial instruments. So then, let us come to the business scenario. What is the role of treasury and risk management in any organization? So there are 2 types of industries implementing this treasury and risk management. So some banking industries as well as insurance and also financial sectors, they are going to implement this treasury and risk management for providing the external services to their customers. So then if you come to the manufacturing organizations also, they are going to use this treasury and risk management to maintain their internal portfolio. That means to maintain their investments. So now whatever it may be, as a treasury and risk management consultant, what is our role? So here you have a responsibility to understand how to design the business partner for financial services. This is the first step which we are going to discuss. So what are the business functionalities for business partner for financial services, and how to customize it, what roles we need to use in business partner scenario. So then finally we are going to generate some business partners. Then we are going to concentrate on most important concepts, which is also called as financial instruments. So here I am not taking system delivered products. Okay, I am not taking just like 51J, 51D. So a lot of things are there. I am not taking that products. Here what I am going to explain you is how to design a new product. That is the main role of treasury consultant. Say for example, if your client asks you to design a new product, what is our role? So that is most important. For this, what we need to understand is in each and every step. Say for example, we are going to start with money market instrument. First of all, we will going to discuss about what is money market. What are the products availability in money market, such as fixed term deposit, commercial paper, certificate of deposits, deposit at notice. So like this we are going to discuss, and what are the calculations involved in the money market instrument. Then I'm going to explain you the product life cycle implementation. That means, say you are the end user and you have a responsibility to maintain your company portfolio. In that case, you need to create a transaction. So how to create a transaction? So just I'm showing you an example what I had created. So here you are the responsible person to post the transaction and also to generate other documents. So you require one company code which is designed by you. And you require your own product. And you require transaction, whether it is investment or borrowing. And you require the business partner which is designed by you. And also which financial instruments they are investing and in which portfolio they are investing. So by integrating all these things, that means if you understand the life cycle process, you can do all these things. So like this, we are going to post the transaction. Say for example, here we are investing 1 lakh as on today's date. Today's date I am investing up to 31st/3/2016 with 12%, and I am calculating monthly return. So just if you click on cash flow, so automatically the system will calculate it. If you invest on 17/4/2015 with 1 lakh and the nominal based on the nominal interest 31st/3/2016 full repayment on maturity along with the nominal interest. So how it is calculated? What are the calculation procedures we had used in this point? So if you see conditions, you can see what type of calculations I had implemented. So this type of scenario we required. To understand this scenario, what we need to learn from configuration, that is most important. Here we need to understand how to design a new product, what are the transaction types, what are the flow types, update types, conditions, master agreement, and also how it is integrated with general valuation settings. And then what are the additional factors such as company code settings for this money market instrument, how the transaction management will be done, and also how you are going to give the authorization to the users, then correspondence, then payment management, from which bank account it is going to direct and how it is being get updated, whether it is incoming or outgoing payment, and accounting and valuation settings. By the end of the day, we need to integrate with FI system. Okay, this is called life cycle implementation. Based on this, we need to post the transaction in front-end application under the trading part, and we need to generate the accounting and also the back office operations. Okay, like this for each and every product, not only for money market, foreign exchange, securities, listed derivatives, OTC derivatives. Okay.
What is this OTC derivatives?
OTC means over the trading counter. The stocks which are taken as an underlying instrument which is not registered with listed stock exchange is the part of OTC derivatives, such as interest rate instruments or commodities, or you can say OTC swaps. These are all the part of OTC derivatives.
Okay.
So that means not only here I'm not only explaining how to post the transactions, but I'm going to explain you how to create a new function as per your project requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Then we are going to discuss about one more important function which is called market data management. How the system is going to integrate, our R3 system is going to integrate with external devices. That means you know about markets. So in foreign exchange, 24 hours market is there. If you go to securities, that is based on the market segments, so the market timings and also the market will move for every security. So what we need to do is we need to integrate our R3 system, which we are the treasury system, to external device. Then the data which is updated from the external device is automatically get updated into the treasury system. Such as Bloomberg or Thomson routers, like this they are going to use the external devices. So then we are going to concentrate on reporting tools, which is also called as basic analyzer and then market risk analyzer. Say for example, as a treasury and risk management consultant, you have a responsibility to take the decision to where to invest and how to invest. In that case, we need to take the data, historic data of some securities which we are going to invest, and we need to do some analysis. So this part is known as value at risk. So for this, there is a lot of things are there, such as statistical tools called beta, standard deviation, volatility, correlation, coefficient. So all these things are the part of market risk analyzer. Then credit risk analyzer. So in to meet some uncertainties such as economical risk or a political risk, and to maintain your product limits, so we are going to use credit risk analyzer. So this is also one of the part of decision making. Then portfolio analyzer. By the end of the day, as a treasury manager, you need to generate the portfolio analyzer to understand the asset and liability position of the organization, to take some decisions, which is also called as investment decisions, and also to mobilize the funds and to utilize the funds. All these are the part of treasury and risk management. To cover this treasury and risk management, I required 25 sessions. So because it's not a simple module, it's just like a CO module. Okay. So it's very lengthy module is there. So that is the reason I required 25 sessions to cover this module. And then I am going to discuss with in-house cache application. So in in-house cache application, what we are doing. So in-house cache applications is especially used to centralize all your banking transactions. So you are going to create one central bank area at head office. And for this bank area, we need to set up some check digit calculation procedures and business transactions events. And also we need to maintain some current account at head office. And we need to integrate this current account to subsidies. And then we need to maintain some conditions for current account, limits for current account, and also the account determination and accounting structure. Along with this, we need to understand how to generate the GL variant, and based on the GL variant, how the subsidiaries are integrated to the central bank area. Whenever the transaction takes place at subsidiaries, how it is being get reflected in bank area, that means central bank area. So to understand this, not only the configuration, not only the end user part, along with this, we need to understand some IDOCs and also electronic bank statement. You can say EBS. Some technical configurations is required to understand the in-house cache application. And the bank communication management is recently introduced from EHP 5. So, but it is updated perfectly from EHP 6. And this bank communication management especially used to monitor the bank statement, not BRS. BRS is different. To monitor the bank statements, so we are using bank communication management. For this interlink, we required IDOCs, so incoming messages as well as outgoing messages, and also the payment status which we are going to update and how it is being get reflected in the statements. These are all the part of bank communication. And the final module which we are going to discuss is cash and liquidity. By the end of the day, as a finance people, we need to generate the cash report. To generate this cash report, we need to understand how to design the planning levels and how these planning levels are integrated to appropriate GL accounts. Whenever the transaction takes place, how the cash concentration will be prepared, and
This
based
G,
on the
this G, just a minute. This GL accounts comes from FI, na?
yes, yes,
Or
the
we have
GL
to create the separate GL account for this.
no, not separate GL accounts. So here if you say planning level, so we are taking the bank account as a planning level. We have three sources to prepare the cash statement. One is bank account, number two customer, number three vendor, right? So these three things are taken into consideration, and we need to create some planning levels. We need to integrate these planning levels to the appropriate GL accounts. Whenever the transaction takes place with the GL account, automatically it will get reflected in cash balance by pulling the data, and also it will update the planning levels. So then we can take the decisions. So then based on these integration, automatically the data will be forwarded to the liquidity planner. So to understand the liquidity planner, we need to understand which items to be taken into consideration and how it is being activated to the company code. What are the different types of assignments we need to consider. And finally, by the end of the day, you are the responsible person to generate the cash reports such as electronic bank statement, manual bank statement, payments, lockbox, pulling. So then bills of material, and also compare with so compare the payment advice notes and how the interest will be calculated, what are the planning levels, what is payment program. So these are all the part of cash and liquidity. And for all these concepts, so along with the treasury and risk management, IHC, cash and liquidity, and bank communication management, again I am providing the same materials such as config, end user manual, as well as some business cases, business blueprint, and SIM files. For treasury, along with these documents, I am going to forward you some theoretical documents also to understand the financial markets. Okay. And so these are the things that what we are going to cover in total FSCM syllabus structure. Okay.
This
For
is the
covering
second part.
yeah. So for covering the IHC, bank communication, I required 5 sessions. And for cash and liquidity, I required 5 sessions. Total 35 sessions it takes. And these 15 sessions for part 1. Okay.
Total 35 for full part 1 and part 2.
No. For part 1, I required 15 sessions. And for part 2, I required 35 sessions.
Means total 50 sessions are there.
Yes.
50 sessions of 1 hour each.
Yeah, because this concept we can cover easily. That's not a problem. But if you go to treasury and risk management, the understanding of the concepts is very difficult. So that is the reason it takes only 25 sessions.
Okay.
Because we need to concentrate on theoretical part as well as config, end user, reporting, and also some technical configurations.
Okay, Mr. Adit, can I know the timings for training, because we are working? So
you do one thing. No. You do one thing. Regarding to the timings, you just